Back again, once again, looking at a Code Wars exercise. Seems like I'm always doing this stuff. This shit, I guess. Whatever you want to say. But today, looking at how many consecutive numbers are needed. This is a Java exercise. Java this time. It's not Python, it is Java. So if you clicked on this thinking it was Python, it is Java, homie. So click off. For all you Java coders, stay tuned, my ninjas. My coding ninjas. How many consecutive numbers are needed? Write a function that takes an array of unique integers and returns the minimum number of integers needed to make the values of the array consecutive from the lowest number to the highest number. So you'll be given an array of integers that will likely have some gaps in it. And the task is to provide how many numbers need to be filled in to make it a fully consecutive array. Is that a good way to say it? I'm sure it was. So, for example, you have a 4, 8, 6. There's 2 that are needed to make it consecutive. The numbers we started with are 4, 6, and 8. We have to fill in the 5 and the 7. Those need to be filled in. So that, of course, is 2 numbers. Looking at 1 and -5, there's 3 numbers that need to be filled in. You really could start this by you order them least to greatest. So like 5 and -1, and then what comes in between, of course, -4, -3, -2. Those would come in between. And those are 3 numbers. So you got to find how many it's going to take to fill in to make it a fully consecutive array. In the case of 1 integer or no integers in your array, it's going to be 0 because there's nothing to fill in. There's no gaps. So that ends up being a very simple case. So that's that. So let me tell you what I devised to do this one. Little kind of algorithm I figured out here. And I'll do it on this one. Yeah, 4, 8, and 6. The first thing I think of is I'm going to fill in the gaps to make it consecutive. I need the provided numbers in order. So the first thing I'm going to do is sort the array. Sort it in ascending order. And sorting this in ascending order, it's going to be 4, 6, 8. So it becomes a little easier to determine like what's in between if you have a sorted array. Then what I sort of came upon was to subtract the smaller from the larger as you move forward. Basically, you can start at index 1 and subtract index 0 from it, and then move on to index 2 and subtract index 1 from it. So in this case, we start with the 6. We do 6 minus 4. That's a 2. It tells you that there's a gap of, there's 2 going from 4 to 6. 4, 5, 6. 2 numbers. Or 2 places. But there's a place that we don't count, so the number of missing numbers between a 6 and a 4 is a 5. So we don't count one of the places because I guess it's either for the 6 or the 4. So really, it's just one missing number. And see, this -1 is going to be what you're going to use all the time. Like no matter what your gap is, when you do the subtraction, you're going to do a -1 on it. So like the 8 minus 6, of course 8 minus 6 is 2 as well. So it's supposed to be an equal sign. and then minus 1 is 1. Whenever you do the subtraction, just do a minus 1. That's what I determined. And then you just add the two together and you get a 2, because there's two missing ones. So my subtraction thing becomes more clear on this next one. First, you put them in order. Like I said, you sort. So the 5 and the -5, -1 sorted. -5, of course, is less than -1, so -5 comes first. So I'm sorted, and then I do the subtraction where I take -5 minus, or sorry, -1 minus -5, because -1 is a larger one. So we do it like this: minus -5. That's going to equal to a 4, because there's 4 in between, right? And really you change it to addition, and then you do -1 plus 5, which equals 4. That's kind of technically how you do it, but there's 4 in between, so that's the answer. Then I do my -1. That's going to give me a 3, and that's why we have a 3 here, because to get the actual number of numbers in between, you do a -1 after any of the subtractions. So if you have a gap of 50 between two numbers that you're doing, you do a -1, and the number of actual numbers in between is going to be 49. So that -1 will persist through all your subtractions. So yeah, I hope I didn't thoroughly confuse you guys here, but the algorithm really is, it's sort, and then you're going to loop through the array, subtracting the previous element from the current one as you move forward. And in each of those subtractions, you're going to do a -1. And for each subtraction, you're going to add it to a total, because you need to get the number of integers, which is going to be the number of numbers in between. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's do this code. Put it in here, and I'll leave that there. Okay, I'll make this bigger. I'm going to import the arrays module, or whatever you call it, the arrays class. That's what it is. Because the first thing I'm going to do is sort, or snort. Sort the array least to greatest so that I can do my subtractions as I loop through. I'm going to create an integer to hold the total of the number of digits in between each pair. That's what that is. Is that what that is? Start my looping at 1 because I'm going to be subtracting the previous number from the current, so I'm going to start 1 into the array so that I can look at the previous element. The body is just going to be one line where it's going to be this. Nope, be this. I don't know why I have to space that out. But what I am doing here is taking the current element minus the previous element and then -1. This is a -1 that I kept talking about. You're going to do it with every subtraction because it's going to give you the actual number of numbers in between the two numbers. And every time you do the subtraction, you're going to add it to your total. Diffs is going to be the total number of numbers that we need to accumulate. The total number of numbers in between all the pairs in the array. And you just return that. And that's it. I like this exercise. It was a good little short puzzle, I guess you could say. Then I'm going to test it. Aha! Yeah, I did it a little too fast. Yeah, I don't know why int is there. It should be I less than. Yep. Most outstanding. They're stealing one of my words, but it's all good. I've trademarked outstanding, if you didn't know. That's it, folks. Looking at how many consecutive numbers are needed. Java exercise from Codewars. Another day, another exercise. Let's go. Talk to y'all soon.